it turns out as we grew older and we understood what was going on, we know they were actually trying to save money. So you see, another friend who had a car, or maybe the husband had a car, or maybe the person will take a taxi or whatever, right, will now pick those children who all are in the same school from school and then drop them at their houses. In fact, one of them, the father, would come to pick them from Abuloma because his office wasn't too far off. So it was easier for him to pick the children from work as opposed to take them to school early in the morning because he had to get to the office very early. Now, it was a very clear reason. If you go into Abuloma those days, the road was narrower. So he couldn't afford to go into Abuloma those days, drop the children, and then face the traffic coming out. He'd be late for work. But you see, that 2 o'clock, that 3 o'clock, he can sneak out of the office, drive there, the traffic is less, bring the children back home, all right? And then everybody is the monkey's uncle. Everybody loves everybody. It was a way to save costs because you are only going to spend money for your fuel one trip, not making 2 or 3 trips, as the case would be. And we saw this in Lagos when we were getting jobs, when we were going to Lagos to try and get jobs, doing interviews. We found out that there were some people who were working on the island. I'm going to use one of those big bank buildings, those who know Lagos. So this group of friends, all right, will have their cars at different places in Lagos. So on some days, all right, one person is driving from Surulere, right? He passes through Bode Thomas, he gets down to Costain, picks some people, they go to work, all right? Now, on their way back, he passes the same routine. So for the first 2 or 3 days, it's his car that is being used. For the next week, it's another person's car that is being used. And then for those who were staying further away in Ajah, they were all doing the same thing. They were sharing their cars. They were carpooling. That was those days. I don't know if it's done now. Now, my question is this. I'm taking my time to explain all of these occurrences. And I want to ask you, dear mummies and daddies, have you considered carpooling right now? Now that fuel is 1,000 plus naira a liter. Have you considered it? What do you think would be the restrictions, or what do you think could inhibit you from sharing a ride with your neighbor? What exactly?
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk. With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 017-923-0003, 0817923-0002, 0817923-0003, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH. All right. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. We're talking about carpooling this morning. I asked the question, have you considered it? Why are you not carpooling? What exactly is restricting you from sharing rides with people, with your neighbors, now as a means of, meeting your obligations as well as bringing down cost of your car services or whatnot? All right. So call us. Let's have a conversation this morning. Don't forget, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X, at Nigeriainfo PH. All right, so Eric here on WhatsApp says, hi, Chi, good morning. One of the reasons why I love this thing that you're calling, I didn't even know it was carpooling. We just used to call it sharing. We used to call it putting together for our children. My neighbors and I, we all share rides taking our children to school because all three children attend the same school. Some days I carry them, some days my neighbors carry them. And the teachers know each parent, so they allow our sons to come together from school. Eric says. Eric, thank you very much. I'm still interestingly getting power updates. Golden, I've just seen yours. Thank you very much. Let me just copy that right now. That's from Golden. All right, I'll copy that very quickly and add it to the messages I'm going to be sending. This one says, good morning. A lot of people these days have parked their cars. So some people are not choosing to take taxi service. In my estate, some of the children who attend the same schools have their parents now contribute money to a particular taxi driver to take all of them to school. That's it. That's an interesting alternative, right? It saves you the stress of going to the school run, to and fro. But I would have to ask, are you really sure about this taxi driver? Is this somebody that you really trust? Because I think now that we're talking about this, I actually see some tricycle riders, keke in the morning. That's 7, and their kekes are filled with children. There's no parents; it's just them. Like they go into some streets, they pack a lot of children, and then boom, they bring them down. So yeah, that's basically a way of saving costs. You just can't make the journey to and fro. Maybe you pay someone to do it. All right. Frankly, yes, says hi, Jude. Good morning. It's not difficult if you have good neighbors, but Jude, in this Nigeria that we're in, do you really trust your neighbors? Not the same neighbors that are always fighting about generator noises or contribution money or things like that. This is one of the reasons why some neighbors keep to themselves. So I don't know if people will be willing to share their car with their neighbors for school runs, frankly. Yes, how friendly are you with your neighbor? But one thing I also know that children can help melt those difficult scenarios. If your son or daughter has not taken a liking to a neighbor, there's almost nothing that you can do about it. Almost not. I mean, it's almost impossible. You can't force your son not to like, Chris or something. Yes, maybe if they have bad characters, you may prevent them, but until the child comes to the realization that, okay, this person is not good for me. So yeah, children can actually bring families together. This is weird. More power updates. Tonya, I've just seen yours. All right, thank you very much. I will put this up as well. All right, in fact, doing so right now. Okay. But our conversation at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, is about carpooling, sharing your rides, sharing your vehicle with your neighbors. Why are you not doing it? Why is this a difficult thing for some people to do? Are you doing it? If you're listening to me right now, you're a parent and you carpool, let's share your experiences. How good or how difficult have they been?
For more talk,
power update reports on WhatsApp. Very appreciative. But we'll go back to our final conversation. We have just about 18 minutes to do so. This morning we are talking about carpooling, sharing your vehicle. All right, that way it actually helps save your expenses, so you don't have to drive everywhere at any point in time, and also saves you time and money, particularly now that fuel is hit 1,000 plus a liter. Is this something that you are considering? Is this something that you are doing? And if you are or are not, all right, let's know. Now, like I said earlier on, it's not a new practice. I think people have been doing this for years. It's the basis for your ride-sharing apps. When you call a ride, the idea is the man is going towards that area. And so if he gets a ping and says, oh, somebody's coming towards that area, he can say, okay, I'll stop, carry you, and then you pay him some money. That's actually the basis for a lot of these ride-sharing apps. All right? Now, having said that, let's get back to you this morning. 08179230002, 08179230003, 08179230002, 08179230003. All right, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH. All right, is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you'll find us on Facebook and on X. And this morning we're talking about carpooling. And my question is, have you considered it? Why are you not using it? Right? It's a way to help you, move your children and indeed even yourself if you have to get to work these days. So you don't have to drive to and fro everywhere. Hey, if everybody's going to one area, okay, we all put 500 naira or 1,000 naira in this man's car. He takes us to work. He's also coming back. That way, we are good. Now, WhatsApp 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. My 2.3, hello, Port Harcourt. Good morning to you, please.
Yeah, Jude, Mr. Zion, good morning to you.
Good morning. Welcome.
And this is a good perspective to survive this period. You also consider the cultural factors.
Cultural, you say?
Yes. We don't practice this thing. It's not part of us. We don't do it. We are born as Africans to have the money. We rather give it to you. Go and solve your problems. We rather get involved. But what we are seeing now, because of poor economic policies, is going to affect us.
How so? Because I don't know if you listen. I said growing up, I had neighbors who used to do this.
Jude, it's countable. You just mentioned just a neighbor. It's not everywhere. Maybe it's one in that environment. Just imagine, we want to go to Obibo. We will now come and wait for somebody that will go with a car so that we all can go. So let's just contribute money to buy.
We are going to the same place now. We are neighbors. We are colleagues.
For burial, it's burial we are going to. Jude, this we can't live.
Really, we can't. Wait, Zion. I also mention, because if I didn't see it, I will make reference to it. I also mentioned that when we started trying to look for jobs, going to all Lagos, Abuja, everywhere looking for jobs, interview. In Lagos in particular, there were bank staff members who were working on the island, all right, and they were all living in Surulere. And then 3 or 4 of them said, okay, today we'll put 500 naira or be 1,000 this week for your car. We go. Now you go bring us, come back. That's how they were carrying themselves to and fro work. They were carpooling.
Jude, this proponent you propose, yes, it's good. But what I'm saying, we cannot adopt it for now. We also have issue of trust. Before now, yes, which is another factor. Don't forget, we are already dealing with this issue of selfishness and greed. If we build fences around our house, can we release our cars for short emission? Let's consider it. Bring back the fuel so that we can go back to my life. Mr. Zion.
All right. Zion says it's before that. Yeah, he doesn't think it's sustainable. But do you agree with him? Wait. So when we experienced this, I experienced this, talking about carpooling in Lagos. It wasn't like okay, the fuel was too expensive, or it wasn't a question of the fuel being expensive. It was just a question of 3 people going to a bank. They work in the same bank. They have their cars. Doesn't make sense for all 3 of us to drive to the same place when we all will leave the same place at about the same time. We live in the same area. Like I said, one was close to Costain, one was at Bode Thomas, and one was somewhere near Ayitoro in Surulere. So it's basically, the person who's coming out from the furthest area, right, as he's going, he carries his colleagues. They go to work. When he's coming back, or when they're all coming back, because like I said, they all live within the same area in Surulere. So if, let's say, the person who's closer at Costain or somewhere, or Bode Thomas, if it's his turn to drive, he's not going to be driving for like 30-40 minutes before he comes back home. No. The route he just takes, just stops this person here. Oh, but I don't reach your junction, or we'll go see now tomorrow. Walk. Normal 6 o'clock. He comes out, he does the same thing. Maybe Zion is right when we talk about trust issues. So maybe there's a trust issue right now. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the trust issue is the concern. What's up? Good morning. Here in Port Harcourt, I don't think it's going to be difficult to carpool, as you call it. But the question is, my neighbors, would they be trusting? Would they leave to the contract? Would they bring their car when it's their turn? Or will I be hearing that there's no fuel, or that my car is spoiled? Azunda is on the line from Igboshimini. Azunda, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Azunda. Go on, please.
Actually, the idea that you're bringing up is good, but you know that you are in the end of the world now. Those things happen those days.
End of the world, care?
Not now again. Yes. The Bible said it now. People are now only concerned about themselves. Not like before again.
So wait,
like me, I know those days when we are small, like early 90s. There is one man that used to carry us from my place to my tree, free, with a big bus, free of charge. But not now again. You hardly see somebody like that will do something like that for people.
See, let's not even talk about free. Azunda, let me ask you. So as you are now, if your son or your daughter is going to a school in Rumosi, and your neighbor is also having a child in Rumosi attending the same school, and another person down the road, the 3 of you, all your children are going to the same school, it does not make sense to say, Oga Azunda, this week, since your picking they all go to the same school, carry them. That mean when I'm coming back from work, I'll go and bring them. Does that not make sense?
It makes sense. Even free, without they're paying for the fuel.
No, whether or not you're contributing money for the fuel or not, it makes sense, because if you are dropping them, it means that you not go back and pick your child. It's your neighbor who will use his car, because his office is close to the school, and brings them back.
I can do it.
So, but why would you do it?
Hello, sir.
You say you can do it, but why won't you do it?
Yes, I can do it, because I wouldn't even ask for you to buy fuel. Because people have already done it for me. People did it to me, so I can do it for others.
Okay.
It costs me nothing.
Right. It costs you nothing to be kind.
Yeah.
All right, Azunda from Boshimini say cost him nothing to be kind. But that's one way to look at it. But I'm not saying that you should do it free. That's not what I'm suggesting. That's not the basis of carpooling. I'm not saying it should be done free. But the idea is, rather than all 4 parents driving to the same place to pick their children, why don't you have a case where one person does it and it's shared? So this week, Mommy A carries everybody's child from school because you're neighbors. Next week, Mommy B does the same thing. Next week, Mommy C and Daddy D, or Uncle F. Well, hey, I don't know. All right, there's a lot of problems in this country. This is on WhatsApp, right? There's a lot of problems in this country. Can you imagine that I parked my car because of the cost of the price of petrol, and my friend, who is also joining me, now thought I parked the vehicle because of him? See me see trouble, oh. Okay, wosu. All right, good morning, Judy dude. Yes, I have considered it. It's just that my closest neighbors whose kids attend the same school stay some distance away. The other factors include possibility of one of us not keeping to time, or some children in one family or outgrowing or leaving the school or even moving out of the neighborhood. One other option is school car parking. That is, use your car strictly for school runs. That's from Joe. Using your car strictly for school runs. It's not a bad idea. And yes, come on. Yeah, maybe one child is in what do you call it? Maybe JSS3 or SS1 or primary 5. And so after the next 2 months, it's just going to be you. But even if it's 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, it can still be convenient. Don't forget, children build friendships, share bonds during those rides. They will. I see bus loads of children every day. Those schools, those secondary schools or primary schools where you have bus services, when they're all packed in, they're chatty. Children like to socialize. So imagine if your neighbors, and their kids get to see every day. Even if they quarrel, we're going to school together. Back to the phone lines, 017-923-0002. I'll come back to this message shortly, please. 08179230003. WhatsApp is 08090306416. 08090306416. We have a caller on the line. I'm waiting for the person's name, and then we get to talk to that person. Here says, hi, good morning. Not in this current day Nigeria. I can't trust anybody. This same Nigeria where even the person that is meant to be a regular taxi driver is a part of the one chance gang. I will take my son to school and back. Let it be expensive. It is my son. I understand the sentiment. Right? I think, honestly, I think I was waiting for this one. I understand the sentiment. Security challenges, yes. I understand. However, those things don't happen as frequently as, is being portrayed. I don't think they happen as frequently as they portray them. Yes, you carry your son, you come back, good. You and your son are bonding, yes. But what if you didn't have the time? Let's be honest. Maybe for you, it's easier. Maybe you run your business. I don't know. But what if you were far away? What if your child's school is in GRA and your office is in Woji? Well, we have Charles on the line. Let's get to say hello to Charles this morning. I wonder if he will carpool. Charles, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning. Have you considered carpooling?
It's not easy thing, but the situation we find ourselves makes us to be scared of ourselves.
Oh dear.
There's nothing. It could have been a nice thing. Imagine children growing up, in a compound, and the parents is not yet back, and they are back from school. We eat in our neighbor's house till our parents come back.
Okay.
But now it's no longer there again because of fear of unknown. One of that thing again that is causing it is pride.
Pride.
every parents want to show the school that, or every children want their parents to drop them because they want their parents to know that they are driving their should be the test ride. My husband is working in a bio company. Why should my children be joining
another person's car?
Person's child? And so the whole thing is just, when one is love. The love is not longer there again. So is pride. So it's something that we have lost. It's difficult to get back.
I didn't think about this. Charles, thank you very much. Charles says, well, it's probably pride. It's pride that has made some of you not carpool. He may have a point. Just may. WhatsApp 009-030-6416 009-030-6416. Oh, good justice says it's a no to me. I see more dangers in it than any benefits. But what dangers? Justice. What dangers really? Yes, I agree that there's a fear of security concern, right? I can understand maybe the worry that maybe the parent who is meant to pick up the child on that particular day, maybe he, fails. So your child's comfort now is now dependent on how quickly another person will get to work. Will get to your point and pick up your son or your daughter. I get that. But all these variables, they are in the minimal, aren't they? Because like I said, we lived through this. If I didn't see this, right, it would be a bit novel to some of you, but it isn't. Particularly, and I know this for a fact, particularly those guys who work in Lagos, they carpool. I'm not just talking about for their kids. I mean for themselves. They carpool. But yeah, maybe Charles is right. Maybe for pride's sake, right? People want to show off that, okay, yes, they can afford to be coming to the school every morning to pick their child. Everybody sees them in a nice car or whatnot. I don't know. 089-030-6416. 089-030-6416. Jennifer says, good morning, Jude. I did with a family when my children were in primary school, and it went very well without any problem. It's just understanding. That's what Jennifer says. Jennifer, thank you very much. So that seems pretty recent. And from the picture here, Jennifer seems like a young mom, she's not like, my mom or something, So yeah, it is possible. It's done. People can and did do it. All right, Golden says, good morning, Jude. My neighbor's son attends the same school with my two children, and I take the boy to school every day alongside my children without expecting anything. Oh, that's magnanimous of you. Now, I've done it more than a year without expecting anything in return. The parents have cars, but I don't mind because I feel it's my little way of helping a neighbor. Good enough, they appreciate it a whole lot. Golden from Port Harcourt. All right, Golden, that's good. That's good. This one says, I don't say anything there. Where I work, I usually carry my co-workers home, back and forth. Sometimes they even give me money for the help I render. It's not meant to be that difficult, right? But like I said, all the points that you have listed, talking about Zion and indeed Charles, I think they're very cogent, right? That, okay, maybe culturally people like to do things themselves as a family, but if that's the case, where's that notion, that mantra that I hear some of you always, throw at our faces? Oh, we're Africans, we do things in a communal way. This is part of community living. Then, Charles also said it could be pride. People want to be seen in their SUVs, in their nice cars, picking their children to and from work, from school rather, every day. You want to go to the office every day. Meanwhile, you and your neighbor or you and your colleague live in the same area. You would both be saving yourselves a lot of stress if you just all hop on one person's vehicle for this week, and then the next week you switch. Think about it. I'm very shocked that it's not something that some people have already started working on. Those of you who work in NDDC, Shell, Ajib, all those other places, some of you are neighbors, some of you live within an area. It actually is going to save you not just your money and your fuel, but also your car's lifespan. You're driving your car every day, coming back. It's not like some people you come, you are gallivanting. No, some of you just go from home to the office. If you're those kind of person, or you fall into that group, what's wrong with just having, okay, this week you use Jude's car, you to come and pick you, all of us will go work, we'll come back, bam, we've put 5,000 naira fuel inside. That should take us. The next week, you will use James' car. The other week, you will use Tina's. I don't know. Tonya says, carpool is a nice idea, but it has to be done with someone you trust. On several occasions, I've had a friend of mine, friends of mine in different cities, Anambra, Uyo, Warri, and Negwa, and Lagos of recent. I've also made power payments of fuel to my friends that are going to similar location. Tony says. It's not. Is it rockets? I don't know. But yes, your worries and concerns, very valid. But like Jennifer said, there has to be a level of understanding. There really has. Well, we'll put our brakes here because coming up in just about 8 seconds is the commercial. Then we have the news for midday. Thank you.
You are tuned in to
Nigeriainfo.
We'll be right back after this.